just looked like you were having the time of your life. You were enjoying yourself, and that's all you could about that moment. And I admired that.
We were together all of 6 or 7 months before our lives completely transformed. As I saw the positive
It made it
test,
all real, though, didn't it? Yeah.
it really, it's like, I was like, well, duh, you're pregnant. Obviously, you're pregnant. Like, I knew I was, but I think I was just letting the weeks pass.
Knowing that I've got a daughter out there and
Yeah.
I'm not there for her, she doesn't know me. That would just break me.
It was around that time, yeah, where you wasn't allowed to live in the house. Did you navigate all of that? Because it's easy for me to be like, I felt like this, and the workers were treating me horrible, and I was in pain, and I had seizures all the time. But like, you as the person who was witnessing all of it, you were like running around like a headless chicken, going to everyone, trying to keep all of our boxes
No,
intact.
connected groups.
How did that affect you mentally? Because you do a great job at hiding how you feel. When you're like raging inside, you look calm and cool and collected. How did you actually feel during that time?
I think I was just terrified of what this was, what it could be,
Yeah, because we didn't know what it was.
and just future outcomes from that. So it was just the fact that you know things have been going merrily, and then out of the blue,
It was
you
it was
you're
the
in hospital.
randomness. It
Yeah,
was the randomness of it, I think,
there was no build,
definitely.
but it was just
No.
you know I'm in hospital. I'm in critical condition.
Yeah.
What you know? How do you tell your child that you're not going to see your mum again?
Mm.
There's a lot of them things where it's just like, what ifs, and that terrified me. So I remember at one point, one of the doctors said to me like, "Oh, what's that? Basically, it's not looking good or something like that," and that just broke me.
It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if I misheard it. I feel like a doctor shouldn't have said that, but I remember just calling my sister and just saying the same words that I heard, and it made me break down. I was just like outside the hospital, like just crying, and it's just seeing you like in that condition as well. It was just heartbreaking because you obviously you had your moments of being down and this, but like every time I saw you, you had a smile on your face. You were chirpy. You loved life, and just seeing you defeated and seizing constantly overnight and barely getting a word in, not speaking, not eating. It was just heartbreaking. Um, and then having to juggle that, seeing the person you love in hospital, fighting for a life, and having to put on this happy face to your daughter.
Oh, yes. Stop it. Oh, Corey, you're okay. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I think, like I said, you do a great job. Even now, you do an amazing job at like hiding it and hiding how you actually feel. And I think we've come a long way in terms of feelings and emotions and speaking
Yeah.
about it. I think it's more me than you. You've always been the one that tries to get things out of me. And even though you wasn't as vocal yourself, you still like you tried to navigate all of that. That time was, I don't think people understand how hard that time was. It, for me, it was like, I mean, I've said this before. I truly, truly did not believe I was going to make it out of that hospital alive for for multiple
That's
reasons.
GoFundMe.
I created it. I have no regrets. I'd do it again. I had zero regrets. I created the GoFundMe because I truly thought I was going to die. I truly thought I was going to
I
die.
hated you for that because I kept telling you not to because I was like, you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and make it official.
like jinx
Yeah, I
myself.
don't
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. I know when I created that, everyone was like, what on earth is going on, Jess? Like, what is this for? But genuinely, I think with not just the treatment that I had at the hospital, but like my body, I was just like, why? Like, why are you failing me right now? And I don't think I've ever told you this or anyone, but like being back in hospital, because obviously after the accident, after the car accident, I went to hospital because I had a dislocated shoulder. That was sorted quite quick, but it's like, oh, it. The other two people who was in the accident also came to hospital. It's like there was a moment. I don't think I've ever told you this. There was a moment where like I was leaving the hospital and they were coming into hospital, and then I saw her mum, like my friend's mum outside, and she kind of gave me this look of like, what are you doing here? Like, you're not in a hospital bed, like, you're okay. It was a look of like confusion, like, what are you doing here? So, like, being back in hospital, having this happen to me, I was like, this is my karma. Like, this is my karma. I was waiting for this to happen essentially. So, like, I truly thought I was going to die because I was like, well, I got off extremely lucky. So like I was waiting
The
for something to
survivor skill.
happen. I was waiting for something to happen. Um oh, but after that it's like things kind of cleared up, didn't it? Like
Well, yeah.
left
So,
I didn't even leave the hospital with a diagnosis besides functional neurological disorder. That's what I've been diagnosed with, which is a very generic Oh, it's a very generic diagnosis where personally, I won't say too much, but like personally,
well, first it was non-epileptic seizures,
yeah,
that
first it
was
was
like just
non-epileptic
a,
seizures
then
because
later on.
I think first they thought they were epilepsy. They determined it wasn't epileptic seizures. And then as I displayed different symptoms and everything like that, and they briefly spoke to me about trauma and everything like that, they put it down to FND. But I wasn't really satisfied with that
No.
diagnosis. I'm still not really satisfied with that diagnosis because to me it's kind of like a slap on the wrist, just giving it a name for you to just move on and for them to move down the list, which I can completely understand. However, it's like there needs to be more. There needs to be more looked into this because for me, I think it's all obviously down to the individual. But with now, what's happening to me now, which we'll talk about soon, it doesn't make any sense. But like from that day, obviously since August, from August 2022 to December 2022, I was essentially okay.
Yeah.
I don't really remember that time period, but I was fine. And nothing, I remember coming home and getting back online, like nothing
Yeah, you come
happened,
straight
and
back
just
to
like
work.
back to work.
Yeah.
I was really, I remember being really happy.
Oh yeah. Well, you would be like,
Yeah, well,
imagine
yeah,
imagine having your nose blocked for a week and then coming out of it, and you feel okay,
yeah,
but
yeah, no, literally,
you
yeah.
can breathe again. That was like
It was really it was a really
satisfaction.
blissful time. Like I
Yeah.
look back at my camera roll, I was just so happy. Like go on coffee days, like we go to the park, we go to the duck pond, like we do things. But then that was
Yeah, I
all,
think beforehand you were a bit reluctant to get out and about.
yeah. I didn't want to go anywhere.
You're a homebody,
I
as
still
you like to
am.
say,
Things have
yeah.
changed. But like that was all short-lived, wasn't it? Because it's like January 2023, everything just
Well, it was December
well, yeah,
2022.
December the 31st,
31st, yeah.
2022. New Year's Eve, like everything just like oh came back times two, times two, times 10. And since that day that's just been
Yeah,
my
so it was like day
normal.
after day after day.
Yeah. I had like seizures every day. I was having these fainting episodes that came out of nowhere. My heart rate would spike from standing up, walking up the stairs.
Yeah, your
I
voice
couldn't
would
do
stop.
anything without feeling weak, feeling fatigued, feeling just not myself. And I was a seemingly
Yeah,
healthy
you're so
22-year-old
tired.
girl. I was 22. I wasn't like the most fit, but like I wasn't unhealthy either. Like I didn't understand why all of this was happening so suddenly. And all during that time, Corey wasn't working at all. Like he wasn't working because of it. Um, it all just became very overwhelming, where like I was afraid to be alone
Well, yeah, yeah.
because my health was, it was so unpredictable, and like we had a young daughter, and then we moved, and then I was pregnant. Pregnancy made my health worse. But let's skip a little bit, because I think I really want to discuss our dynamic, because I think it's easy to say like we we've gotten to this point where we are doing things backwards and that's worked for us. However, what was our structure?
I think we're at this point due to circumstances more so than choice, though.
We did it all because that's what worked best
Yeah.
for us at the time. And that was me being, I don't even know what to call it. You know, traditional roles. Let's talk. Traditionally, men go to work, they earn for their family, provide for their family, and then the mum is at home with the kids and, stay at home mum type thing. For us, it was a complete thrown on its head. Because of my health, because things were so unpredictable and so all over the place, we both had this fear. I think more, definitely more you than me, had this fear of like something had happened. Things had happened when you did go back to work temporarily. My health just it went much, much worse than it ever had been at that point. But I was the one that was earning money. I was the one that was paying the bills and doing the things that stereotypically a man should do. How, I don't want to say how did that make you feel? What was your emotions during that time? Because I know obviously we knew, you didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm saying like online people had no idea. I feel like
There's always
from
like people.
externally it's like I think we looked fine, but then I remember getting the odd
Yeah, so that
like,
people always questioned like, Corey always
Why is Corey always at home? Why do you not do the school run? Like, where's Arlo? You're filming, where's Arlo? And I always just put it down. Like, I don't even know what I said. I think I said like,
I've got my own things going on type thing.
yeah, I was like, lots of things are happening, but like, mind your business.
Yeah.
Kind of like respectfully. And that wasn't to like try and I wasn't ashamed of our situation at all, because no one knew the extent of how bad things were. People still don't know the extent of how bad things are currently, just in terms of how my health is. But for you, how did you accept that? Like, you kind of just had to, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have like, sort of disdain towards it. It was just a bit upsetting that I couldn't provide in the way that I wanted to, in terms of, like buying a car, taking us out on holidays, you know, doing day trips, going to restaurants, and just living. Like, just having to put finances on the back burner and focus on life was just a little frustrating.
Because instead of you thinking about going to work the next morning, it was me thinking about,
How can I make this extra? Or
yeah, me thinking about like, I've got this meeting tomorrow. I'm going on a meeting at this time. Corey's going to do the school run with both kids. He'd come back, play with our son until he goes down for a nap. You'd put him down for the nap. I'd be filming or on my meeting, whatever. In the beginning, I remember
when
it
I had these
felt,
periods of time where I'm just like sat around, I'm like, I should be doing more. I
yeah,
need to be doing more.
yeah. I remember you'd be like, you'd like catch yourself doing nothing and be like, like what's going on? I remember in the beginning, I was a bit like, this is not weird. I was like, I remember feeling, and even until recently, so guilty, feeling so guilty, because I was like, this is essentially my fault. Like, I know it's not, but like, this is essentially my fault. Like, my health has gone to shit, which has made you put your life on pause for 2 years. You've graduated, you're so intelligent, you're so smart. You haven't been able to get a career and get your career started in the way that you wanted to. Instead, you're at home. You're playing housewife, and I don't want you to play housewife, but you were so you never bat an eyelid about it, and not even down to like because that's our circumstances. You really enjoyed.
Oh
You're a
yeah,
great
yeah,
father. You're such an amazing dad, and it comes so naturally to you. To me, that's a whole different story. But like even like when we go to the park, Corey will be the one if there's kids playing with like our daughter, for example, you would interact with the kids, you'd make a game out of something, like it would just naturally come to you. Me, I'd be like, hi, like why you look at me like what's going on? Like you are so naturally embedded within the role of being a father.
yeah.
I don't even want to separate the mum and dad role because that's with our dynamic, to me, it doesn't even matter. That doesn't
No,
even exist because we've done things so backwards where like I feel like more people should be doing it. Like I think for us why it works was because we done things that was catered for our lifestyle. I didn't give a damn if people on the internet found out that I was the one paying for X, Y, and Z and you wasn't and you were at home looking after the kids. Like me getting questioned as to why I was able to go fashion week and do this on the weekend, this on the weekend, and where's Corey? What's Corey doing? I didn't see, well, I saw the issue, but then again, it was like, I don't, I don't get it. But I think because it worked so well for us, I kind of thought, why the hatred towards it? Like, why question it?
I think it's not a stereotypical, you know, relationship that you see that obviously you can have, different thoughts and feelings towards it. Um, but like I said, there was no disdain there, but it gets to a point where because of these norms, when you go out to pay for a coffee and they hand you the credit card, and I'm like,
That's several
yeah,
times. There's, yeah, that, hmm,
and it's
yeah,
embarrassing to a point, but
yeah.
also the fact that it doesn't just go between you in the middle.
No, there's been, oh, the moments of like quickly doing a transfer. So, or like sliding my card to you, giving my card to you, giving my phone to you. It wasn't nice. Like, it wasn't nice. And I didn't enjoy, you done a great job at hiding it, but like, I knew you wasn't like over the moon about it.
Yeah,
I think it was more in public settings. I think obviously at home it's like we have our dynamic. This is what works for
it was
us.
more so a visible issue as behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Um,
And it was a thing of like I wanted you to get your career started. I wanted you to do things. And it's like as soon as I'd say it, like I'd be in hospital the next day. Like
and I followed that
you'd
sometimes.
start something, you wasn't able to finish it because like I had a seizure at home alone with Arlo and then the seizure kept happening and was ongoing. Like it's been not even 3 years, even since Amara, you have been the sole carer, the sole caregiver of our kids. Like I'm here, I've been here, but like I haven't been here, I've not been present. Done so much healing and so much inner work where I'm like,
Yeah, you definitely stepped up a lot more
yeah,
with Arlo.
because I realized how precious the younger years are. Like the first 2 years of their life are so important, even though they don't remember it, but it's like I do. And I think
You don't want to look back and think,
like, even like looking back at pictures like soft play and swimming and days out, like even now these are the things that I'm pushing myself to do with my son when you go back to work, and I'm excited, terrified, but I'm more excited than scared. I think because I get to have that independence again. I get to figure things out. And I think from being a person who came from being so independent, I didn't rely on anyone when I was younger, and coming from like an abusive relationship before that and having someone dictate and control to finally being like my own person and doing my own thing, and then being in a relationship with someone like you who was so the opposite of what I went through, and then having my health decline, having to rely on you again, to now wanting that to be stripped. I think my fear only lays in like how long is this gonna last? Like how temporary is this? Like this is good now, but how long is she gonna last? I feel like there's a timer on it. I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm just like I don't want you to see something tiny go wrong and then be like, I'm coming back,
Well,
like I'm here.
depends if it is tiny or not, because I know you're gonna try and make out like it's nothing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want you to. Like a big fear of mine going back to work is you pushing through like everything's fine, but then
I mean,
it progresses and
we know how
progresses.
my body can, my body will tell me. I think what I've really learned over the last couple of months specifically is my body will really tell me if it's tired. My body will tell me if I've had enough. And I have listened to it because obviously we've seen what happens if I don't. Even you tell me, even when I don't do anything, or when I feel like I don't do anything, for example, if that's hoovering, if that's hoovering the house, hoovering the bedrooms, and I come downstairs to hoover, I'm like, oh, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah,
My legs are giving up on me.
my left hand side is
My
gone.
left hand side is gone. Like, I've really had to understand my body during this time, and it's been
Yeah, I feel
terrifying.
like the last few months or so, you've really, it's a word to say, but like gotten to grips with your disability.
Hmm. Even though she is ever changing. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we say this now, and like,
don't start touching them.
no, I say we say all this, and like,
But like, it must be so hard for you to be able-bodied, to not have to think about pain and you know limbs not working for you, and then suddenly waking up one day and having to live with this new norm. It's got to be frustrating for you. It's got to be all these emotions for you, and I'm so proud of you for just getting up and getting on with it.
it's because I have to.
Because you don't have to. People sit in it. Because even when your leg's not working, you're dragging yourself across the floor.
Oh, you're dragging me across the floor.
Well, you tell me to.
But it's like my mindset towards it is like things happen. It's like stuff happen. I think I can't tell if that's a healthy mindset to have. I can't tell if it
I
is
think it is. Shit happens. Move
because
forward.
like it all to me again stems back from the car accident. It's just like car accident happened. You're
Obviously, don't
alive.
move forward too much if this,
No, obviously, no, obviously, but like it's like that
I feel like you moved
happened.
too quick in that
I did.
period
I mean,
there.
obviously, because my body reacted, even though I do feel like the condition that I have, whilst it is F&D, I do feel like there's just something underlying, like that's just my gut that's telling me something else is going on. But I do completely agree that what my body is going through has had an element because of trauma. And because I didn't heal from the accident and like even do small things like tell you or tell my
Well,
family
yeah.
or like go to therapy like I was supposed to, speak to someone like I was supposed to. I think even if I did do that, maybe I wouldn't be going through this. So it all does go back to like, oh, feeling guilty and like I wish I did do this, but my mindset is it's happened. All I can do
Yeah.
now is figure out how to help myself, which is why I want you to go back into the world. That sounds so dramatic, but like in this house, I feel like we are in our own little world and in our own little bubble. And when we do step out, go to city centre, go see family, it's kind of like I feel tense. I do. I feel so tense. I'm like, I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable is good. Well, I think that I personally believe that being uncomfortable is good. If things happen, things happen. But then we navigate that like we always do. Because worse things has happened. Like honestly, worse things has happened,
Yeah.
and we've managed. Don't know how we've managed to get through it. But like with saying that, what do you think? What's made us last this as long? Because that's what everyone asks me is, especially after finding out how active you are in our kids' life and in my life in terms of my carer and looking after me. What is one of the main things you think that's made us sustain our relationship? We've come a long way in terms of
I
communication
was
and
gonna say
speaking.
communication.
I think that's definitely been more me than you. I used to like not say anything. If I was
Yeah.
upset, you'd be
So
like,
you'd run off and
you'd be
you'd
like, what's the issue? And I'd be like, I'd walk away. I'd go away. I'd be like, I need a minute. And then I'd have my minute, and then I'd get over and be like, never mind, like,
Yeah,
let's just move on.
it, yeah.
Let's just move on. Because once I settled it in my mind, it's done.
It's like, yeah, you didn't
I
want
don't want to go back to
relive
it.
it.
Because if I go back to it, then I'll just be even more angry times 10. I mean, I don't want that for you.
It was just the fact that we were communicating,
Mm-hmm.
even if it was little, it doesn't have to be words, like little telltale signs that we're not okay or something doesn't sit well. And the fact that we try to pick up on these things, like we're actively listening and actively trying to, solve issues, solve arguments.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly is
Not
the
to
key
sit in
word.
it and not to sleep on it and just get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing, not just with our relationship, but with every relationship, is not to...
Never go to, it's so cliche, don't go to bed
Like, we
angry.
have done it, it's
We have
horrible.
done it, it's not nice. Like, I've woken up.
You wake up and you're like, are we talking? Are we...
Yeah. Or like there's been times where I wake up, I'm like, I'm livid now. Like I was mad when I went to bed. I'm waking up, I am pissed off.
Yeah.
Do not talk to me. And as parents, I don't think that is not, well, it's not good because like you've got kids. I don't want our kids to ever see us not see us disagreeing because I feel like it is healthy to see
Yeah, we disagree and it's fine, but arguing and raising voices and not
arguing, raising voices, yeah.
and speaking to each other.
Yeah, that's not, and I feel like that.
But I feel like we always have control with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one person that's louder than the other.
We respect each other's boundaries. We definitely respect each other's boundaries, and we've not that we've come a long way, but I think it was more like I think it's more like
in the beginning it was just
I was gonna say I was a lot. I was very hot-headed. I'm still hot-headed, but like I felt like let me get my words out. I'm right. I hear you. I'm understanding. I'm not listening to you. For the girls, I feel like you should already know what question I'm going to ask.
Don't.
We're going to end on the topic of marriage. No, only because a lot of people has asked, why haven't you proposed? Where is the ring?
Well, like we've been discussing.
I'm not asking this. I'm just repeating the questions.
So I've not been in work for some time now. The finances haven't been incredible.
To have a ring, you need money to have a ring.
And yes, I could propose with a Haribo, but I don't want to.
Jessiara has nice taste.
Yeah, but
Corey knows. Corey knows the size. He knows everything. He knows the details. So
I've known since, I think,
like month 4.
Yeah, month 4, 5.
I swear we went like not ring shopping, but like I
remember even in Dover.
Yeah, and that was.
We went past like multiple jewelry stores,
and I'd be like, oh, every time we go past the shop, even now, I'm like.
So if I do a bad job, then
I will be incredibly disappointed if you did. You would tell by my face. I have a terrible poker face. If I don't like it,
I know. Marriage,
obviously, I would love to get married.
Yeah, for us right now, it's not a necessity.
No, it's
It'd
not.
It'd be nice.
Even like
to confirm
engagement, I would be engaged. I say I would be engaged for a long time. I'd be.
It's a lie. Who you lying to?
Okay, let me rephrase my words. We both would love to get married, obviously, but because of our circumstances, it's just not even been. There's been no opportunity to buy a ring to propose, and I'm not fussed. Like I said, we've been through we're basically already married, genuinely. However, I have voiced my thoughts. I have voiced my opinions. So maybe we'll see where the year ends.
The year, so you give me.
We shall see where the year ends. Relationships, especially as young parents and parents in general, can be straightforward. It's not straightforward. Like you go through the motions of being a mum, being a dad, being a caregiver, looking after these things that are called kids and babies and navigating that, school, feeding them, extracurricular, like everything like that. You go through so much, but then like to have our added stresses of like my health and financially and you're working and then having another kid, like we've had so many layers that we've had to figure out and we're still figuring out, but we're at a point now I'd like to think where I feel like something could happen tomorrow and we're like, cool.
Yeah, can
Like
make it work.
we can make it work, we can navigate it, we will communicate through it perfectly in a way where we both are happy with the outcome. It's like things like I said, things like marriage, it's not a thing that is on our minds at the moment. And we are at such a healthy point. Especially I think I've come a long way in terms of like our relationship and how I show up as a mum and how I show up as a partner. I we didn't even speak about it in this one. We spoke about it in the other one we filmed, but like mentally, I'm in such a better place. I don't think I said to you
Right.
guys. I don't think I said to you guys, but I'll mention it quickly. Um, Around August, yeah, August 2024, I went through a very, very, very dark period. I can't even describe what really happened. It to me, it's like it was like an out of body experience where it was after the anniversary of the accident and I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like myself. I remember not resenting our kids, but just like I woke up one morning, I was like, I'm not, I don't want to do this.
You'd have a reason to
I
stick around
felt
or
nothing. Like
yeah.
I felt very numb towards everything I did. Like I didn't want to eat food. I didn't want to get dressed, wash my face, do my skincare. I didn't want to talk to no one. And honestly, it came out of nowhere. It really came out of nowhere. Um, and my moods were really up and down. And I was like contemplating, oh dear, I was contemplating leaving because I just felt I was like, what is my purpose here? Because like at that point you were already like doing everything. You were like you would play with them, they'd love playing with you. And then I remember when I did attempt to play with like Amara, Arlo for a few minutes, I wouldn't enjoy it, they would enjoy it. So I was kind of like, what's the point? It's like I felt like, what is my purpose being here?
Yeah, I remember you telling me how useless you found that you were just lost with it all. But I had no idea what was actually going on with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew you were depressed and knew you had all these things going on internally, but there wasn't many times that you brought that to light with myself and sat down and spoke to me about it. Even trying to force it out of you was difficult. You didn't want to burden, you didn't want to communicate what was, actually going on with you. And to see you pull yourself away and try and, rationalize the fact that you're not needed. I could see you getting more distant every day. How can I help? How can I be there to support you? And at that point, you didn't want to be supported. You know, you wanted to just disappear. Trying to, grasp you and shake you and tell you this is ridiculous. It, try and wake you up from it. It just wasn't possible.
Yeah, it was weird. When I think about it, it was like, dear gosh.
It's like you had just taken over.
I didn't it felt like someone came into my body, which sounds so crazy, but like I just didn't want to
You had no enjoyment for anything.
I
You
had
were
nothing
just
in I
you
it's like
weren't
I'd
you.
see the sun outside, I'd see the sky and be like I'd be like, what am I doing here? Like why am I doing any of this? Like I had every every ounce of like enjoyment or like every ounce of myself, every ounce of Jessiara, that everything that made me, I didn't feel anymore. Um, and the second I like decided that I wasn't gonna do things anymore, the second I decided I wasn't gonna like proceed, was I was terrified of how okay I felt with it. I was really scared with how okay I felt with it.
Yeah.
And like I left the house and like I was just walking. I was like, I don't know where I'm walking to, I don't know why I'm walking. And then I ended up just picking up formula. Like I remember going to Asda and I picked up some formula for Arlo and I came home and that made me feel something, like doing something for my family again, even though it was something as little as buying formula. But like I didn't, I felt, because I came from a home that had mental difficulties and like I had mental difficulties in the past, but I was like, how I was feeling in that time, I didn't think I'd ever feel again. Like even after the accident, I felt nothing, and it's like that all just hit me at once. Like I'd never wish that upon anyone to feel how I was feeling at that time. But it was like I was questioning my mental health. Like I was questioning if I had something. I remember I think I came on a vlog and I was like, guys, I have a personality disorder. I didn't even confirm nor deny nothing. I just said I had it because the things that were happening behind the scenes was questionable. Yeah, I know you were worried, like my friends were worried. And I didn't want to say anything because I was like, I'm this online personality. I have this platform. I have kids. They're going to take my kids away and this, that. Like, I didn't want to say nothing. But where I am now, I think being an advocate for these type of things, it's so important. Like I really had to learn that it's okay to not be 100% all the time. Because I think what I used to do, even like first being in our relationship, was I was trying to be okay. I was trying to be okay all the time because I just didn't want the extra noise because there was enough noise going on in my mind. Like having ADHD and whatever else it is that I have. Like
Yeah.
it's just constant. It's so loud and I'm so easily overwhelmed. I'm so easily overstimulated, and saying like I'm overstimulated by our kids is so horrible to me. Like it's horrible, but like that's how it is. But I've had to tell myself it's okay, like it happens. It's normal, even though in my mind, in the back of my mind, it's not. I know it is. So we've come a long way. We've come a long way.
You've
Oh
come a
my
long way.
God. Oh my God. At least we're done. And as an elder sibling, you have so much you have to uphold. You have to be the strongest one. You have to be the one that try and has it all together. Even though I'm the elder sibling, kind of out of my two
Yeah.
sisters, and then I've got stepsisters or whatever else. But like, still, I've always felt like I just have to like just keep it together, and I never felt that pressure from anyone else. No one made me. You never made me feel like I have to do that. It's me.
Yeah. Your own internalized pressure.
Like since a child, since I was very young, I've always felt like don't cry, like don't show emotion.
And that's why it always hits like a wall because you pushed it back for so long and then it just all comes out at
That's why it
once.
all just happened. Like I felt nothing, and then I had that fit of rage where I wanted to break everything. I really just wanted to break everything. Even overcoming that was just like I still wanted to. There's days where I still want to. However, I think back to that moment, I'm like, I can't go back. I can't do that again. Can't allow our kids to see me like that. Can't allow you to see me like that. I don't want to feel like that again. So how can I move forward? And I have moved forward. I don't want people to see me upset and like think, I'm still going through it. I'm not. Luckily, that was, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but to me, she's a whole different person. And I've done so much like internal work of understanding myself and figuring out how I feel and figuring out how I can help myself like navigate just day-to-day life. Because unfortunately, being neurodivergent and having X, Y, and Z, even just being a regular person, life happens, shit happens. But like for me, I take everything really not personally. I feel feelings really strongly now from
Yeah.
being someone who didn't feel them. I feel feelings really strongly. I feel situations very strongly. If I'm overstimulated, I'm overstimulated. Um, if I'm upset, I'm really upset. If something happens, it ruins my day. And I'm still figuring out how to get past that. And I
And
think,
not cling on to these emotions.
yeah, you have to allow yourself to be helped. And if you can't allow yourself to be helped, there's no room for improvement at all, unfortunately. And now I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm so open. I feel like I'm an open book. I can just talk to you guys about how I feel, which is crazy because I never used to be like that. But it's all, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. We're both still learning. We're both still growing. And now we're on a road where I feel like beautiful things can happen because of it, because we've gone through all of that and so much more. Like, there's so much more you guys don't know, but like,
It's
there's
for another day.
that is for another day. So, my loves, that is all for this episode. Thank you so much for being in this very long journey with us. Like, this episode we've been through all the emotions, really. But I would just love to hear how you guys took this episode. What is something you're taking away? What is something that you would like to advise us if you're in a relationship yourself, if you can relate? You can use the hashtag yes I said it and tag us at Better Left Unsaid Pod with your stories and with your opinions, with your thoughts. Join in the conversation because that's what this podcast is all about. Thank you so much, Corey, for joining me.
Of
We'd be
course.
happy to have you back. But stay tuned for episode 3, you guys. I cannot wait to show you guys the rest of this season. It's filled with so many amazing, incredible women who have such incredible stories that I'm sure a lot of you will learn from. But that's all. I'm gonna get some water and I'm gonna lay down.
Okay, go lay
My
down.
throat is all croaky and yeah, she's she's an emotional girly, but it's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Ciao.